Well, hello. If you landed here, you've landed on Let's Talk News. I'm your host, Leticia Remauro, and I am trying out something new as far as audio is concerned. And I hope it works out because I've been getting complaints on playback that our audio sounds very tinny and it's uncomfortable to the ear, especially because of my voice, which is a little shrill. So let me know if you think that this mic is working better. As you know, we're very, very, very low budget. Well, actually, it's not the budget that's the problem, it's the engineering or the lack thereof that is the problem. But we're trying our best. And as we're creeping closer to that golden 1000, I want to make sure that um, we sound good, both me and you guys. I wish I could find a way to put you all on. I think possibly it could happen, and I'm going to see if maybe we could work a show where everybody comes on and we all talk together instead of just typing. But that's for the future. Let's try the microphone first. Let me know if I sound the same, better, worse. Let me know. Okay. Also, it looks like I'm going to have to change the music for the intro because now all of a sudden YouTube, because we're getting close to that 1000, YouTube is giving me grief about that, even though I purchased it. They don't like that music. So I'm going to have to look for something else. So if any of you are AI savvy, I want to create a little 15-second musical intro for me, let me know and send it on over, and we can avoid YouTube giving me a hard time. Hello, Kevin Wall from the other side of the world, but the same side of the issues. How are you today? I'm Francine. Good to have you. Santillian's with us. Aloha. So glad to have you back, Robert. So anyway, I'm kind of chuckling to myself about what's going on with the Democrats. Hey, how are you there, Professor? Good to have you. Um, they are just tripping over their own. Eh. It looks like Hasan Piker is actually helping Donald Trump, or he's on the trajectory to be helping Donald Trump um, to keep hold of the Senate because as these Democrats are embracing Piker, others are stepping away, realizing that they're being impacted in their district because all Congress and a third of the Senate are up for reelection this year. And in order for the Democrats to take control of the Senate, they would have to win Michigan. And I don't know. I don't know. And if Michigan falls, I mean, has El Sayed, who is embraced Piker, and Piker has been pushing him along with his 8 million Twitch followers. Uh, he he is running to fill what was a Democrat seat. But if he loses that seat, the Democrats will be hard pressed to be able to take control of the Senate. So it's interesting. It's interesting that Hasan Piker, who I'm not sure where he whether he's for real or not, um, because he's another one of these nepo. Well, I'm not going to say nepo babies because he seems to have obtained his millions on his own, but he's definitely now one of those rich cats like Bernie. He's a Bernie bro in every way, except for he's not ancient or rickety, but he certainly has millions behind him, and he has houses and cars and motorcycles and all the things that these Democrat socialists are claiming rich people have. but they all have them. So it just blows my mind. Blows my mind. Angela Rick is with us. How are you? Yes, a lot can occur in 60 days. A lot of good things, a lot of bad things. I'm hoping we're on our way to the good things. In the Middle East looks like some good things are happening, but I keep on wondering about this whole socialist movement and who's behind it. These Bernie bros and Sanders himself. Is Sanders in line to be the next speaker? Why did Sanders never run to be speaker? Or I'm sorry, Senate Majority Leader. Why was it Schumer and not Sanders? It just didn't make a lot of sense to me. Hello, Andrew Dorman. How are you? Santillion says lots going on here in elections, interests of outside influence. Supreme Court here don't want to take up the issue, but DSA is finished by our Senator Ed Case. Oh, really? That's interesting. Hey, Karen, thanks for watching. Karen knows about what's going on in Michigan. So if we have any questions, Karen can fill us in on whether Michiganders really do feel comfortable with El Sayad, or whether Mike Rogers, how they feel about him. Um, do they really buy this bullshit from Dr. El Sayad that he is just a working guy, him and his very rich doctor wife? Do they really buy that he's just a working guy fighting for the working guys? It makes it hard for me to believe that they do. And here's the other thing that I'm confused about. So these socialists want equality. They want everybody to be the same. They want socialism in America. They want to overturn the capitalist structure that has been in place since America began, and they want to replace it with a socialist structure, which would mean that they have to dismantle the Constitution and everything that makes America America, right? It can't just happen. There's got to be a constitutional convention. The Congress will have to pick it up. It would have to be changed, our Constitution and everything in our society. Here's what I don't understand. So you got Piker, you've got El Sayad, you've got Bernie, you've got AOC. Who's the other? Well, you got Mamdani. You've got all these boys and girls, and I'll always call them boys and girls because they're children, who have won throughout the country. The majority of whom are highly educated, white collar people or professionals who are making well over six figures. So they're the ones that are proposing this socialism that everybody should be equal. Why aren't they communing? Why aren't they as a group living in a kind of a communist way where they're sharing everything? Why aren't they sharing with other socialists who believe in them? What the DSA is the largest socialist organization. How come all of the people in the DSA aren't sharing their funds? I think that I would be more likely to believe their rhetoric that socialism could work if it was done correctly, if they showed us. They don't have to go through all of this rigmarole. They just need to demonstrate it. They just need to show me how they could get a whole bunch of union workers to join their organization and then everybody share and everybody be lifted up. If everybody shared equally, will Hasan Piker still have all his millions? Will Bernie? Will AOC? Will El Sayad? Will they still have their millions? And will the people who are joining the movement have have equal millions to them? How does that work? Why can't they work it out? Like all of these actors and actresses, there are so many starving, struggling artists. Why don't they give their money to SAG? Why don't they level the playing field? Why don't they share? They believe in socialism, so they say. Why don't they share? Let's see. Last I heard, Rogers and El Sayed were neck and neck in the polls. Wow, that's an interesting and good thing, right? Because it was a Democrat seat. So if they're neck and neck right now, what's it going to take to make sure that Rogers starts to command a lead? Santillion says nobody here is buying the BS of the socialists. Meanwhile, I'm taking classes in our town, Honolulu Police Department. Yes, you had said that, and I'm glad that you're still pursuing that. Average person on the street can't identify political players or ideology, but are willing to go along with socialism as long as they get what they want. All right, I got it. And you're right, Professor. But how come they're not asking for proof? How come they're not asking the question, okay, show me? I mean, especially because Mamdani hasn't done one thing he said he was going to do, and he's in office almost a year, right? 3/4 of a year, and he's no closer to getting free buses and transportation, or free grocery stores all over the city, not just one in every borough, because that's not going to do anything. That's a drop in the bucket. How do you decide? Is it a lottery? How's that work? I mean, wouldn't that $30 million be better spent maybe in a tax reduction to give back to the working class rather than investing in one free grocery store per borough? And, he's facing so many lawsuits from all of these small grocers, these mom and pop grocers. Yeah. So it's not like anything is happening in New York that would convince me that I should upend the entire United States of America and try socialism, because why not, right? Why not? Just wonder. These are the things that boggle my mind. Our new chief of HPD is having a town hall in a high crime area. I think he's tackling the high crime socialist agenda. We'll see. That'll be interesting. So this is a long clip, but I think it's one worth watching. This is Congressman Josh Gottenheimer. I don't know if everybody saw him speaking out against Hasan Piker. And I don't know if everybody saw what Piker said, but you'll see it in this clip. Watch.
Left streamer suggested Jewish Americans who back Israel are inviting violence on themselves.
People don't with Israel any longer. And if Jews in America keep putting this idea out there that they are singularly invested in Israel, eventually someone's going to come around and take action, not against the state of Israel, mind you, but against American Jews.
My next guest responding on X, writing, the only one inciting violence against American Jews is Piker and his rhetoric. For the future of our party, Democrats have to call out his hate and condemn these dangerous views. And that's Congressman Josh Gottheimer. He's a Democrat out of New Jersey. Great to have you here.
Thanks,
Hakeem Jeffries, the Democratic leader in the House, sort of addressed this yesterday on X. He was just asked about it by Wolf Blitzer at CNN. Let's play that for you here.
Was that in reference to far-left influencer Hasan Piker and his recent very controversial comments?
Yes, those comments were dangerous, malicious, and anti-Semitic, and should not be tolerated by anyone in the public square. What we've seen is a startling rise of hate crimes all across the United States of America, but particularly in this moment directed against our Jewish brothers and sisters.
Congressman, does that answer the mail on this issue?
Well, obviously, I couldn't agree more with Hakeem. Jeffries, and he's totally right. That not only is it appalling and disgusting, but basically Hasan Piker, who is, got more than 1 million or so followers on Twitch, and has campaigned with Democrats around the country, has basically put an open call out for violence against Jewish Americans, those who, of course, have come out and supported the U.S.-Israel relationship. This is right out of the Nazi playbook. This is a call for violence against Jews. I'm glad that Leader Jeffries came out strongly against it. I hope that all my colleagues on both sides come out against it. Mike Lawler and I we introduced a resolution months ago condemning Hasan Piker and Candace Owens. I hope that that's brought to the floor when we're back next week. It's time we said enough's enough with this kind of blatant hatred against anyone.
El Sayed out of Michigan had a response to the Piker comment. He said this: anti-Semitism is a scourge, and we need to address it in all its forms. And I stand against any rhetoric that puts the community at risk. Nobody speaks for this campaign besides me and my campaign spokespeople. A guest last hour pointed out that El Sayed was with Piker on election night when the primary was
Correct.
being held. And now he's just saying, well, he's just some guy.
Yeah, El Sayed's response was pathetic, and it did not answer the call. I mean, the bottom line is he did not condemn Piker. He didn't even mention Piker. He didn't condemn what Piker said. He didn't say, I'll never campaign with this guy again. As you pointed out, he campaigned the last night of his primary. This isn't such some random guy for him. And frankly, he should not only condemn him, but no Democratic members should allow Piker anywhere near them on the campaign trail. They should know nothing to do with this guy. And, anybody who does, frankly, and has not condemned them, bears responsibility for somebody's comments like that. You cannot allow this kind of rhetoric to go out there. And I feel like what's sad is in the Michigan delegation, and remember, these comments were directed against State Senator Moss, who will likely be a colleague of mine next year in Congress. It was targeted at him. The only person in the entire Michigan delegation on the Democratic side to say anything was Hillary Scholten, who's a representative from Michigan, who heroically went out there and said something. The rest of crickets, they said nothing. And I think, every member of Congress should come out and say, Hasan Piker, you're not welcome here. Your anti-American views, what Piker has said. He didn't just call Jews pig dogs, but this is a guy who said 9/11 was America's fault. He has praised Mao Zedong and Lenin. He's said that going after Iran with sanctions makes no sense. This is not a guy who any of us should embrace.
Let me read to you something that he said yesterday, and I'll get a last question to you on this. Piker said, do not let a coordinated Republican smear campaign become reality. My argument against the dangerous false conflation between Zionism and Judaism, which in turn increases anti-Semitism, is now turned on its head. And this is the part I wanted you to address, Josh. He says, Zionism is not Judaism. Anti-Zionism is not anti-Semitism. And I think that is trying to make a distinction there that is not reality.
This is a guy who's come out strongly against Jews over and over again. And let me be clear, Dana, when you have in New York City people attacking synagogues, when you've got people going after and boycotting Jewish businesses, not only does that nothing to do with Israel or Zionism, that's just plain old anti-Semitism. Hasan Piker is an anti-Semite. It is what it is, and I don't think he would even claim otherwise. He tries to slice the words up. At the end of the day, that's what he is. Nobody should be anywhere near this guy. No one should campaign with him. No one should repost him. And frankly, anyone who is quiet right now is complicit. Everyone should come out against this guy, and we should vote to condemn him when we get back to Congress. Again, Mike Lawler and I have a resolution. I'm hoping that Republican leaders should bring it to the floor so we can stand up to him and to people like Candace Owens who are spewing hate across the board.
Okay, so it's clear that Piker and also Candace Owens, who I just want to remind everybody that while so many Republicans would come on here going, I love Candace, run for president, I kept saying I don't like that girl. Something's wrong with that girl. Don't trust that girl, and I was right on the nose. The only one that really surprised me was the Fox guy, and I can't. Oh God, why can't I think of his name? The one that went to Russia and interviewed Putin. I can't think of his name, but anyway, he surprised me, but she did not surprise me. Let's see, hold on a second. Our professor says that reminds us that Leonard Jeffries, who was a professor in New York in the 1990s, was spewing hate crime back then. That was part of that whole Falana situation that was going on in New York, Lenora Falana and them. So yeah, I mean, it's the hate against the Jews has been consistent, but it's never been as high as it is right now since October 7th. Santillion says Piker is not welcome here. His little assistant who ran for Congress in Hawaii got his ass beat trying to be a tough guy. Yeah. And the professor says Jeffrey's uncle is Leonard Jeffries. Okay, yes, we got that. Tucker, thank you. Tucker Carlson. I always wanted to say, he looks wise reminded me of Charlie Kirk. Thank you everybody for reminding me. Talking out of both sides of the mouth. Yeah, well, do I think that that they are all scrambling at this moment? I do. I think that those individuals who are now trying to distance themselves from Hasan Piker are without fault? No, because if you remember, those people they were very comfortable spewing hate speech on a regular against Republicans and Donald Trump. Do we all remember that we're and they still do, but this is a little clip from some time ago that I think is worth playing from Fox about the Democrats going, well, we never likened Donald Trump to Hitler.
This is gaslighting on steroids. MSNBC host Nicole Wallace hosting Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker on her podcast. And apparently they don't believe that any Democrat has ever compared President Trump to Adolf Hitler.
I haven't suggested that Donald Trump is Hitler. I wouldn't say
I don't
that
think any Democrat has. I actually and I think it's a smear that they project back on to critics.
Well, let's just say the archives disagree. Roll the tape.
Timu Hitler in the White House right now. Incredibly dangerous that Donald Trump would invoke Adolf Hitler.
That's Hitler's language.
Reenacting the Madison Square Garden rally in 1939.
Everything that he has done has been tearing down constitutional democracy. And that's what happened in Nazi Germany.
This is not Germany. That's the SS and the Gestapo.
The tape never lies. Jesse, I believe you called him JB back ribs.
Yeah. Well, this would be like if Trump said, I never suggested the Democrats stole the election. It's just so obvious. Nicole Wallace has leveled this charge. Guests on her show week after week have leveled this charge. This is so dumb. We just did a segment on the fact that Democrats should be talking about healthcare, the economy, education, and they still go with Hitler.
Okay, so they all like to play this innocent game. Not me. I didn't do it. Never. Oh no, we want to talk about the issues. Bullshit. Is all they've been talking about for the last 4 years, and the 4 years before that, and the 4 years before that, is Donald Trump and how Republicans and Donald Trump are authoritarian. You're undermining the Constitution. We are backwoods. We're all bigots and racists. I mean, as a matter of fact, not just last week, I think El Sayed said that JD's wife, that JD's grandparents wouldn't accept JD Vance's wife because she was Indian. Really? Now, so interesting because J.D. Vance, his family is mixed. When I say mixed, I mean mixed cultures. He's got African Americans, he's got Indian. He's got family members that are, run every color of the rainbow, let's say. I mean, even Whoopi Goldberg kind of lambasted him when he was on The View, saying, well, you should know, you got black people in your family. Yeah, he does. So who is El Sayed to talk about Mama and Papa or whatever he calls them, not accepting his wife or his kids? But that's what they do. They pull it right out of their ass and they sell it whole to the public. And then they pretend they never said it. I mean, and Pritzker is, in my opinion, one of the top offenders. But if you watch the show long enough, you know that the reason that Pritzker goes after Trump so much is because the Pritzker family and Trump have a long history in the hotel business, and Donald got the best of them, and JD doesn't like it, and so this has got more to do about business than it does to do about politics with JD, JB. I'm getting all my J's confused. But at any rate, I've gone way off kind of talking. Hello, Joanne. Good to see you. And thanks for joining us. Yeah, so this is just it's laughable. It's laughable that they're all running for the hills when they were the ones who initiated all this hate talk. And now that it's out of control, they don't know what to do about it. They grew this cancer basically in a petri dish. The Democrats. They decided that Donald Trump and the Republicans and MAGA would be their target, and that they were going to talk about him nonstop for the last 10 years. And they did. And it backfired on them pretty badly, because Trump winning re-election was, we all remember they were claiming, Elon and Skylink, and, it was some nefarious stuff was up about that election. I believe that we don't have free and fair elections in this country since 2020. I think that, the Democrats started playing games, and if any games were played again, well, then it would be, they're right. I mean, it wouldn't be surprising. But they said 2020 was, free and fair election. There were no shenanigans. Well, then, so neither was 2024 then, right? I mean, if the same stuff was happening, if it was even more secure, the Democrats are full of shit. They played a dangerous game. They played a silly game. And now they're being eaten alive by people inside their party, by the youth that they wanted. And it's not even the youth, honestly. I mean, there's a lot of young people involved in this, but these are the young people that they sent to college, that they insisted had to go to college. These are the young people that they indoctrinated. And they're coming back to bite them in the ass. Santillion says they're all running away. Paychecks are gone via Axe Blue. Yeah, they're broke. Nobody's giving them any money. Look, only the Democrats could spend $2 billion and lose a campaign so handily with Kamala and still be in the hole. Just crazy. Just crazy. The View is done via Benny Johnson today. Well, they always say it. Let's say I think that it is done. I think it should be done. I don't know who their audience is. It's just weird. They lie and they swear to it. Oh, absolutely, Joanne. But the gaslight is the worst part. They gaslight. They're all crying crocodile tears because their socialist wing is like is destroying all of their work, destroying what they thought was a good message. And and Hakeem is the head messenger. Where's Pelosi? We don't even hear from her anymore. Is she conscious anymore? Schumer is, he's just fallen down and and bent the knee to the socialists and to the Bernie bros. And AOC is, the bartender that we all laughed at, the one who they put a casting call out, and she answered the casting call. She seems to be their new leader. Really interesting stuff. Okay, and anyway, I hope the new microphone worked well. Did anybody notice a difference in the sound quality? I don't know if you would live, but we'll see on playback. And yeah, think about a new theme song. I mean, write it if you're a musician, whatever. I'll give you credit. I'll pay you money. We're gonna have to do something because we're getting close to that 1,000 on YouTube. So Joanne, if you haven't already, please everybody go over to YouTube. Let's Talk News Media and subscribe to the channel. We've got to get to that 1,000 so conservative voices are seen and heard. And yeah. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm trying to get Svetlana to give a live report from Moscow about Ratcliffe and his visit over there. So fingers crossed. Maybe we can get her on tomorrow. So love you all. Thank you. Think about what I said. Call them out when they all want to move away from El Sayed and remind them that they were the ones that started with this hate speech. Oh, thank you, Santillion. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So, all right. I'll see you all tomorrow at 8. I love you all. And remember, subscribe on YouTube if you can. Thanks.